What's good, YouTube? We back for another video, man. Before I get into it, I hope you guys have been locked in and taking care of yourselves, right? So I'm gonna get straight into it, man. Lust, okay? I don't really like talking about lust, man, but it's an important thing because lust is 90% of men's downfall, and 90% of men struggle with lust or have struggled with lust in the past, or like I said, you're currently struggling. Like every man, I feel like every man at some point goes through this. I feel like, because you're a man, right? You have hormones, right? So every man will go through that phase, where he kind of is struggling with lust. But you gotta, but everybody has different ways on how they control it. Some people embrace it, some people embrace it and just they're okay with being Bob, I said Bobs, being dots and shit, hoeing around, sleeping with a bunch of women, you know, whatever like that. Some dudes they masturbate. What I mean, like they kind of just watch porn, masturbate. So it's like okay, and it doesn't seem as bad because it's like, oh, okay, well, he's not. It's not like he's messing around with a bunch of women, but technically you're masturbating to a bunch of women on the internet, so it's kind of the same thing if you ask me. And then you got the dudes that you know have learned how to control it, have mastered it. You got dudes that are able to go a long time without relapsing, masturbating or having sex. You got dudes that are semen retention gods, like they don't do nothing, like they have completely mastered it, honed it. It doesn't even control them. They don't even give it a second thought, right? So I just listed off the three types of people. You know what I mean? So, and this can't go for women too, because technically, but women struggle with this too, but it's not as much as men because women typically have a lower sex drive. But us as men, we have a very high sex drive, man. Very high. Like, it's, you know, women only kind of deal with that, during ovulation. But other than that, they're most likely fine. But us, man, it's tragic, right? So, like I said, lust is a big issue for most men, and including me, right? I'm not gonna sit here and act like I'm a semen retention god. No, man, I struggle with lust, and I'm making this video so I can hopefully, inspire people, encourage people on their journey to try to, control their lust, stop masturbating, quit watching porn, or maybe you just, you're hoeing around and maybe you just want to just stop. You want to just, instead of you hoeing around, just chasing every girl that got a fat ass, you just want to find that one girl to settle down with. You know what I mean? Everybody has different problems with their lust. Everybody has different ways of coping with their lust. You know what I mean? So basically, man, I generally feel like there's no cure to lust, okay? Because I'm not gonna lie to you, as a man, and even if you're a woman watching this, right? You're going to get horny. You're going to get urges, okay? That's just, I thought that at some point maybe I could stop that, but I can't, okay? Because no matter what, I'm going to get horny. I'm going to get lustful, okay? I ain't gonna say lustful, I'm gonna get horny. We're gonna get urges. My fault, y'all. I thought I heard something. But yeah, we're gonna get urges, man. And unfortunately, it's nothing we can do about that, if you're not getting urges, at all, then something's wrong because you need to, right? That means your testosterone is not good, and you need to get that checked out because you're supposed to be like, if you're not, something is wrong because as a man, you have to, because you gotta you create sperm, so you got to. If not, something is wrong. But urges, whether you're a man or a woman, they're always gonna be there. Okay, that's number one. You have to just accept that fact. I think the problem is I had this problem too. We think that we could somehow just make it go away, but we can't. It's always gonna be there because that's just what it is. It's a natural part of our body. It's going to be there. If you find somebody attractive, you're going to get urges. It's okay. It's I used to be insecure about that. I used to feel like, dang, I hate, sometimes I still feel like that. I feel like, man, because, whenever I'm going to say specifically when I'm at my job, man, I see a lot of girls, they got bodies on them and shit. They be wearing them, them flared leggings and shit. Literally, girls spam that shit. Like, the flared leggings, bro, swear to God, like, that's literally, like, girl, I don't know. It's so crazy how now the meta for women is flared leggings, bro. Swear to God, because it's supposed to make their butt look bigger type shit, right? Bro, it's crazy, right? But that's the method, right? So when I see a girl with flared leggings that have a body on her, obviously I don't really like, I'm just like, bro, really, you're another girl. But then, she'll like have a body on her, then it's like, dang. And then I start thinking about it, then out of nowhere, my shit, I get an urge. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Right? Like, I don't even want to get an urge at that. It just happens, right? Because it's like, oh, she got a big butt, right? But it's just gonna happen, man. I mean, especially if you find a girl attractive or whatever like that, it's gonna happen, and there's nothing you can do about it. You just, you can't permanently stop urges from happening. You just have to learn how to control it, right? And that's my thing. I feel like I've been trying to figure out how to control it and direct it. You know what I mean? So basically, I feel like the only key to truly defeating lust is by distracting your brain. Okay, you have to distract your brain from, because the reason why you even get an urge in the first place is because your brain is thinking about sexual stuff. Okay, that's usually how it works. It starts with your mind. Okay, like when it comes to sexual stuff, it's all mental, bro. People think that, no, it's 90% of it is mental. You know what I mean? Like, just thinking about a girl, or just imagine you having sex with her, like your brain, or or if a girl is just thinking about an attractive dude, like she's picturing an attractive dude that she might have saw, or she's picturing him just going crazy on her, that is what will turn a girl on. That's what turns dudes on, right? It's mental, right? It's more mental than physical. It's like 90% mental, right? So you have to distract. One thing I've learned is that you have to distract your brain, okay? Because you're gonna get urges, but the only way for your urges to go away is if you distract your brain, okay? You have to distract. You have to do something else. You have to pivot, okay? Whenever you get an urge, you gotta do something else, okay? I'm gonna give y'all a perfect example, right? And I haven't been doing this, but it's like, okay, if I get an urge, right? I gotta, like, bruh, I gotta get down and do some push-ups, right? You know what I mean? First off, I gotta make sure I turn everything off. I'm not even gonna get on my phone, because if I do, I'm gonna be tempted to try to watch some videos. So I gotta, like, distract my brain. So probably crank out some push-ups, or I might do this word search booklet, right? You know what I mean? Because it's going to help distract my brain, and eventually my brain will stop thinking about it, and eventually it will go away, okay? Or maybe just going out for a run, or just doing something, okay? You have to do something physical. You have to do something to get your brain from thinking about it, okay? Working is a very good method, okay? So if you're somebody that works a lot, then it's going to be very easy for you to not relapse, because you're always working, meaning that your brain is always distracted, okay? That's one thing about a job. It's going to keep you busy. It's going to keep you distracted. That's probably the best distraction you could have, right? And what I realized is that a lot of people, when they get lustful and they fail, it's usually because they're not doing nothing, okay? You can't just sit on it, because the more you sit on it, the more you think about it, the more you're going to be prone to relapse. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, man. A lot of people say, oh, you can fight through it. You can't. I'm telling you right now, you can't fight through it. Willpower, when it comes to your urge, willpower is just not enough, okay? It's not. And I'm gonna be the first one to tell you, if you think that you could fight it by just sitting there and just being like, no, you can't. You have to do something, okay? Like, every time you get an urge, bro, do some push-ups, do some sit-ups, freaking go for a run or something. right? Do something, because if you don't, you're going to relapse, bro. Okay, and I've realized that because there was one time where I was actually on a 40, almost a 6. I think I was almost on a 50-day streak. I almost hit 2 months of semen retention, meaning I wasn't masturbating, I wasn't having sex, nothing. Almost 2 months, and that may not seem like a long time, but that was my personal record. You know, like I'm talking about, like I legitimately was finna make 2 months, and that would have been 2 months of me not doing anything. And during those 2 months, you don't want to know what I was doing during them 2 months? I was staying busy. I was staying active. I was constantly distracting my brain with something, okay? Like I was making videos, I was going to the gym. I was just doing something, okay? And I didn't even have a job at that time, okay? And another thing I was doing was I was playing the game too. I don't do this no more, but playing the game was also helping me as well, because it was keeping me distracted. It was keeping my brain focused on the game, okay? So look, you can even play the game, bro. Like, you got to do something, bro. I'm telling you. Do something that is going to steer you away from relapsing. And that doesn't mean be on your phone. No. You got to put, like, I feel like the moment you get an urge, put the phone down, put the computer down, whatever you're going to put it down, stand up, do something, okay? Don't even turn your phone off. The moment you get an urge, turn it off, right? And you could play the game. You could do something like this. You could freaking crank out some push-ups. You could literally crank out as many push-ups as you can until the urge is gone. Okay, I'm telling you, it's gonna work, right? And the worst part is I'm telling y'all this, but I actually haven't really been doing it, right? But I'm noticing that that's what's been going on, okay? Like, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, bro. Yesterday, I relapsed, okay? You wanna know why I relapsed yesterday? Because I was on a little streak, but I ended up relapsing because I wasn't on Instagram or nothing. I didn't have any triggers around me. Like, I wasn't looking at it. It was just my imagination. Because, like I said, even like what would end up happening, especially if you go on like long streaks, long days, is what I've realized is that your imagination will start to take over. Okay, so even if you just think about a girl, you could get hard just off of that. Okay, like obviously, like the first few days you might be okay, but after like a month or a few weeks, a month, right? Just you're gonna like just thinking about just thinking about a girl is gonna make you horny, bro. So that's what ended up happening. And I was on my computer, and see, I was trying to focus on trading, but I couldn't, right? I was trying to focus on trading, but I couldn't. And see, what I should have done was I should have just stood up. I should have just closed my computer, stood up, cranked out some push-ups, or I should have did this, but I didn't, right? I turned my phone off and my computer off. No, at first when I did it, I wasn't on my phone. Like, I turned my phone off, but I was just sitting on it. I wasn't really doing nothing. I was just letting it build up. See, you got to do something, okay? Because even if you turn your phone off, your computer off, whatever, it's still gonna be there. So the goal is for it to go. You want it to go away. You got to do something. You got to distract your brain. That's something I've learned, and I haven't even been implementing it myself. But I'm telling you, that's what's gonna work. I feel like that is the only way to defeat lust. So to make it simple, you have to work a lot, okay? If you want to keep your lust at bay, you have to constantly be busy doing something. Because the times where you're chilling on your phone, maybe scrolling on social media, you can't do that, because eventually an urge is gonna come out of nowhere, and but you're still gonna be on your phone, and that's where you're probably gonna end up watching Hub. You know what I mean? Like, willpower is just not enough, okay? That's why a lot of us fail, because a lot of us think that we could just tough it out. You can't. You can't, man. You can't tough it out. You have to do something. That's really like a sign. Like, I feel like getting an urge is like a sign. Like, bro, you gotta work, bro. If you're getting urges, that means you're not working. That means you're not working as hard. Like, you're not doing anything, okay? Because your brain, you should always be busy doing something, okay? It doesn't matter if it's simply as reading a book, going to the gym, freaking working on a business, playing a game, doing some homework, something, bro. Not scrolling on social media, not being on your phone. No, actually physically doing something. Okay? And because if you don't, you're going to relapse. Because a lot of people are like, oh, but like I don't understand why I keep relapsing. Like I don't know how to get, bro. It's because you're not doing anything. Okay. And like I said, y'all, I made that same mistake, and I'm realizing that. Like I'm like realizing, like, okay, every time I relapse, it's because I'm not doing anything. Okay, like every time I relapse, it's literally because I've been probably on my bed, sitting on my, just chilling on my phone. I'm not doing nothing, bro. No, you gotta do something. You have to, because if you don't, you're going to relapse. You can't use willpower. You can't tough it out. Nothing. Okay, and I feel like that is the only way you could actually defeat lust. Because other than that, you're always going to be lustful. So what I'm realizing, my fault, y'all. What I'm realizing is that when you have a lot of free time, like free time in your hands, where you kind of just not doing anything, you're probably just on your bed chilling or anything like that. That's why most majority of men are huge masturbators, right? You know what I mean? Because they just don't have anything to do. They're not working for real. You know, they might be on their off days. You gotta be doing something. You have to. Okay. And another thing too. Now this is another thing I have to realize as well. See, when you get out of bed, okay, when you first wake up, you actually are horny. Majority of times, if you know, you can wake up with morning wood, or you're horny when you wake up, right? But see, it's tricky when you wake up, because when you wake up, you know, a lot of people kind of just, you know, I don't know, you know, but depending, you know, some people, when they first wake up, they jump straight on their phone. Mistake number one. No. When you wake up, man, you got to get up. Okay. You can't just jump straight on your phone, because I used to do that. And see, the thing is that I'll be horny doing that, and I end up leading into masturbating, right? But see, the thing is that if you wake up, you got to do something immediately when you wake up, okay? Because usually when you wake up, first thing when you wake up as a man, you're going to be horny, okay? You're going to have morning wood or whatever, right? You know, it may not happen all the time, but it's going to happen, okay? So you got to immediately do something. And I'm going to tell y'all something I've been doing, okay? So the first thing I've been doing when I wake up is I do this right here, okay? I do a word search, right? This helps me clear my brain. This helps me kind of focus my brain, distract my brain, reboot my brain into, you know, focusing on this, right? And the moment I get done with this, like I literally do like one page every morning, right? I haven't been doing it, I ain't gonna lie, but I ain't do it yesterday, but I've been doing one page. I usually do one page right when I wake up, and by the time I finish this like takes me like probably like what, 20 minutes. You know what I mean? It takes me like 20 minutes to do. And I love doing these, right? It's really good. It's really good for your brain. You know, it helps you like concentrate, focus when you first wake up. You know, so these are really good to do when you first wake up, right? You know, it's just like, okay, you know what I mean? And then your brain will start to, you know what I mean? And eventually it will go away. Okay? It will go away. You have to distract your brain. You have to be doing something, because the moment you don't, your lust is going to take over. Okay? And the problem is that my almost 2 month streak that I had, I was doing just that. But the reason why I relapsed was because I literally wasn't doing anything. Okay? I kind of got too comfortable, because I felt like I went so long that it was okay. Like I didn't have to, like, you know what I mean? And I ended up relapsing, man. And I also started indulging in my triggers. You know what I mean? But even then, like I said, the triggers, just, you know, even if you take away all the triggers, that doesn't mean that you're not going to get urges, okay? Because you could just imagine a girl, or you could just imagine a porn scene in your head, and you can get horny off of that. You know, you don't always have to just look at a girl or look at something to get horny. No, you can literally just get horny just by thinking. And sometimes it just happens. You know, you don't try to, you just think it, and it, you know what I mean? Like, I don't try to think about it, but you know, I think if it comes across my mind, then I'm gonna think about it, then I'm gonna get horny. You know what I mean? But as a man, you just have to stay busy, man. Okay. And that's really the only way. You have to be working. You have to be doing something. Okay? Something. When you're focused on something, your brain is not gonna worry about lust because you're focused on something else. Okay, that is the only way. And I'm only saying this because I've figured it out now. You know what I mean? And it's hard, okay? Because the problem is that I know that in order for me to defeat my lust, it would literally mean that I would have to stay busy all the time. I would have to stay off my phone as little as possible and work majority of the day just so I can stay busy and not, you know, but I'm telling you, man, if it happens, it's over. No. I'm my fault if y'all can see me look out. I'm looking at my window, right? I just, you know. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope this really helped. You know what I mean? And like I said, I know I'm saying all this, but I'm making this video because this is what I've learned. Okay. And this is things that I need to be implementing myself. So I'm not just saying, oh, y'all need to do this. I need to do this as well. Okay. Because sometimes I forget. Like sometimes I kind of get too comfortable and not really think about it. And I get lustful and I don't do something or I'm not busy. Then, you know what I mean? Like I got to make sure that I always stay busy no matter what. No matter what. Because if I don't, I'm going to relapse. So yeah, man. I hope you guys enjoy this video, man. Like, comment, subscribe, man. And yeah, see y'all in the next one. Peace.